Hi everyone, it's Mr. Munyard here, and I'm excited to just share with you a few thoughts for today. We are celebrating Wellbeing Week this week, and Wellbeing Week is really about thinking about being well. And being well is about being well in our body, and being well in our minds, and being well in our soul, and being well in our spirit, and how we connect with God. So today I have just a few words to share with you. On my desk here, I have this this stand, this picture that you can see in front of you. And when I left my last job, I had some really close friends that made this on a laser printer. And so it has my name, and it also has one of my favorite verses, Jeremiah 17, verses 8, actually verses 7 and 8. I want to read that to you today, and it says this: Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. Let's think about that. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It doesn't fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green, and it has no worries in a year of drought, and it never fails to bear fruit. I love this verse because it talks about being well. And how do we be well? By trusting in the Lord. And the analogy is being like a tree planted in a spot where it's going to grow well. And as I thought about this verse, I was actually thinking about something that I noticed in the last week that happened at Officer Campus. And I think some of these pictures will remind you of what's happened. So just this last week, actually just a week ago, um, Mrs. Russ was incredibly excited because we had a whole bunch of new trees planted on the campus. And so we had the tractor come through there and dig lots of holes, and then we went and planted all of these trees. And so you can see that there on the day, some of those trees are being planted. And the interesting thing is, and there's a picture from further away when all or most of the trees are planted. The very next day, we had an enormous storm, and it blew all the trees to the side. And then the maintenance team had to come along and then make sure that they were reinforced so that they can stand as they start to grow in the big winds and the big rains. But these trees will be there for a very, very long time. And it makes me think about this verse, which talks about trusting in the Lord, and it's being like a tree planted by streams of water, which means when we are close to Jesus, when we talk to Jesus, and when we allow him to make our spirits well, that even when the difficult times come, when the heat comes, and that our leaves will always be green, and that we'll never fail to bear fruit. And as I think about well-being, I think that reminds me about being well. Basically, when we plant ourselves in Jesus, where we get our nourishment and get our watering from Jesus, that we will be well. And the storms will come. And, sometimes we might need some reinforcement. I think that's sometimes what it's like in our classrooms. The teachers that we have are the people that come around us and encourage us and help us to be strong and to keep standing strong sometimes in some of those difficult spots. Anyways, I hope that's really encouraging for you today. And when you go outside, if you're an officer and you see those trees, that you would remember Jeremiah 17 and these verses that talks about that when we trust in the Lord, it's like being a tree planted in streams of water. Thanks, everyone, and I hope you have a great day.